my professional career in order to establish why I'm here presenting with Knowify and why I believe Knowify is an excellent solution. I've been a CPA in Southern California for many years and became very interested and involved in the PC accounting world when the IBM PC was introduced in the late 80s. I actually began installing software for PC accounting companies like Computer Associates or Solomon in those years, as well as doing what we called outsourced accounting in those days, where we were using PCs to do your accounting, where we would actually arrive with our PC and our printer and do your accounting and walk out with our PC and our printer, and away we went. So in the late 1990s, QuickBooks became the premier product in accounting. Although the accounting profession wasn't a big believer in it at first, it obviously was a solution that worked for customers. I got involved with them in the late 90s and became advanced certified in 2004 and have been working with my clients to either install QuickBooks and get it working for their companies, or to provide what we call now virtual accounting services. In the area of construction, I've been doing construction accounting since I'd say since the early 2000s. I've had a number, probably a couple dozen implementations of companies that range from startup to $75 million a year, a 400-employee subcontractor, which was a very exciting and challenging effort. So after committing to the QBO product, which is now looks like into its focus for now till the future, I decided to convert my practice, move my practice away from desktop software into the SaaS-based or software as a solution type product. And what I found was that for construction, it was very difficult for my clients to move from desktop to the QBO product because there really is not enough reporting capabilities or functionalities in QBO at this point to truly match to the QuickBooks desktop product. So I began a search about a year and a half ago for that solution, and I was able to search online, and I ran into Knowify online, and we began talking, and I had a chance to meet Knowify at the Intuit QBO Connect conference and get to meet their staff and talk more about their product, and I've decided that after looking into it that Knowify is an excellent solution that will allow customers to play in the QBO SaaS-based world in a very effective manner. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to present with Knowify, and I look forward to Dan's presentation.
Great, thank you, Rick. So this is Dan from Knowify. I'm actually going to take you through a little bit of Knowify and what we do and why we think we are a great solution for contractors. As Rick and Casey mentioned, I think one of the really exciting things in software these days is this move into the so-called cloud, meaning really just onto the internet, and especially for contractors who take their business with them. That half your time you might be in the office, but the other half of the time you're in the field, and to lose visibility on your business because you can't get to your software is a problem of the past. And what Knowify and QuickBooks Online, and specifically, the QBO Pro Consulting team can do for you is make sure that your business becomes a cloud-based, on-the-go, available and accessible anywhere kind of enterprise. Now, if I had to tell you what the point of Knowify is in one sentence, like the big take-home from today's meeting, what Knowify does that's really, really interesting is that Knowify will tell you in real time how you're doing on your jobs. And this means that because it's a totally integrated package, we'll tell you materials you've ordered, will tell you where you stand in any particular phase of the job as time card data have come up. We'll tell you whether change orders have been signed or not signed, whether bids have been approved or not approved. So we give you really good, actionable, real-time business intelligence so that you can run your firms more efficiently and really know where you stand. And at the very end of this presentation, I'll actually show you a little bit through Knowify so you can actually see what this all means. Knowify encompasses many different areas of the contracting business. We've tried to bring almost everything on the administrative side together under one roof. So we'll do contract management, we'll do dispatch if you do service tickets, for example, service ticket management, we'll do schedule management, we'll do invoicing, including AIA invoicing if you're a commercial sub, integrated time tracking, including a mobile app with check-in, check-out. So very, very feature-rich software. And we built it in such a way that it integrates very, very tightly with QuickBooks Online so that you can use the QuickBooks infrastructure for accounting. And QuickBooks, as you know, is the dominant supplier of accounting software to the small and medium business market in the United States. So as I mentioned, our goal is to help you know where you stand in real time and to help you run paperlessly. And again, all of our features, and there really are many. And I think one of the things that I'd like to point out, the reason why you would want a solution, a business management-oriented solution like Knowify, instead of just a really robust accounting package, most business owners are not comfortable giving their employees access to the accounting package. It's just too private. The information there is for eyes only for senior staff at the company or for a bookkeeper. And the idea of opening it up for supers and foremen, et cetera, to have access is just not a good place to start in a conversation with the business owner. But Knowify has fully built-in permissioning. So you can customize in your Knowify who gets to see what, how much money they can spend in the purchasing section, for example, without it going up for approval. So Knowify was built from the ground up with the idea that we wanted to let you give it to all of your people and to let them see only what they need to see to get their work done. So we want to make them more efficient, but we want to do that without jeopardizing the confidentiality and the privacy that you want in your own business. So in a nutshell, at the highest level, how does Knowify work? Well, it works by giving you powerful tools to build project plans and estimates for work that you're going to perform, to then convert those estimates into bids very quickly, and to produce ready-to-sign PDFs based on the work you've done there. We even have built-in e-signature on our proposals, meaning that, like built-in DocuSign, the second you produce your bid in Knowify, you say send for signature. We package it into that ready-to-sign PDF. We send it to your client via email with a link attached that they can click on and e-sign, so you're not running around trying to collect signatures anymore. That's true on the change order side, the proposal side, and it's really a terrific time saver and lets you run paperlessly. And then finally, tracking. So as I mentioned, you're estimating. We give you lots of powerful tools to help you build out project plans and estimates. But imagine if your Excel workbook that you use for Takeoff Now could actually take on a life of its own once the job went live and tell you in real time how you're performing against your budgets. And that's actually what Knowify does. Knowify makes it so you can quickly tick off items from your materials budgets and order them directly through our purchasing system, and it'll let you track time card data as it comes in against your labor expectations. So we'll let you know how you're doing in real time. As I mentioned about our ready-to-sign PDFs, we have a very powerful templating engine, so we can make them look however you want to fit your branding. You can see examples here that we've done for clients, one in a very old school style because it's what they wanted, another in sort of an interesting branded style with the rattlesnake image in the background. So we can make these proposals look however you want them to look so that we're reflecting your branding with our system. I think a really important part of this is we want this to make your company shine. Our tools are about making you better as a company, not only in terms of efficiency, but in terms of the way you interact with your clients. And as I mentioned before, lastly, we support AIA-style billing. So for those of you that are familiar with commercial construction billing, the AIA style, the G702, G703 billing sheets are a pain in the butt to fill out, and Knowify can let you do it in 3 clicks, much faster than you ever thought possible. I mean, it really is, it's transformational. We have built-in scheduling, a differentiating factor between Knowify and just a QuickBooks or a basic accounting package. As I mentioned, our estimates are actually sort of working project plans. And so they have a layer of scheduling built on top of them. So you can absolutely schedule things out. You can see scheduling of job phases. You can see scheduling of individual people. So a lot of scheduling tools that you can really keep track of who's supposed to be doing what, where, and when jobs are scheduled. We have Gantt charting functionality built in so you can really see at a glance, the utilization of your people and the activity in your company. So this is actually a quick view on the Knowify Plan and Track section, which was the live estimating part that I was mentioning before. We'll actually go through this very quickly at the end when I show you real Knowify. But the idea here is we can give you at a glance a view on exactly how you're doing against your budgets. And it's a really, really powerful thing for a contractor to know in real time how he's doing on his jobs. So we also have built-in dispatch and check-in, check-out. This is actually a view of where guys are checked in. So you can see I have a bunch of jobs here on the left panel, and I can track my check-in so that, you know, my 3 jobs in the Dallas area, actually no, sorry, there's only 1 job here in the Dallas area, it's that Weston 1 Main Place one, but I can see that I have 2 guys who have checked in there and checked out, and what time they checked in, what time they checked out. So, you know, some really good information there. Obviously, and this is GPS verified, so obviously if a guy checked in outside of an acceptable radius of the job site, it wouldn't prevent him from checking in, but it would show a warning like, hey, this guy checked in off-site, just be aware of that. And, you know, if it were something expected, like he was picking up materials, no big deal. If, you know, on the other hand, he's getting a sandwich, you know, that's, and just late for work, that's something that you as a business owner would want to know. So this is a view on our dispatch scheduler and showing a quick view on our mobile app and how easy it is to just check in by hitting that big blue button. Also from the mobile app, you can send up comments. You can receive comments back from the office. You can send pictures up from the job site, or you can receive pictures down from the office if the office needs to share plans or specific photos that the client sent. So, I mean, there's really good two-way communication between office and field built into Knowify, which, you know, seems obvious for a contracting package, but clearly, you know, that concept of communicating between the office and the field, making sure everybody's synced up, is just absolutely critical to what we do. As I mentioned, you can totally permission each of your users depending upon what you actually want them to see. This is on that. And, you know, I think coming back full circle now, this idea of Knowify plus QuickBooks Online, it really is a very powerful way to run a contracting business, because you can focus on the business aspect of what you do on the Knowify platform, and then you can still get everything you need accounting-wise in an automated way as Knowify pushes data without any interaction from you to QuickBooks Online. And then a professional like Rick and his team, they can take over, they can manage your books, make sure that you're in great shape in terms of all the various things that you need to do, whether that's paying your taxes at the end of the year, or compiling income statements, balance sheet statements of cash flow on a quarterly basis. Any of those sorts of accounting related things can absolutely be compiled quickly and just based on the data coming out of Knowify. So you guys can focus on the business side, and the accounting side can end up taking care of itself with the help of some really talented professionals at QBO Pro Consulting. So at this point, you know, I'm going to pass the presentation back to Rick, and he can talk to you a little bit more about the QBO and accounting side. But I mean, it really is a very exciting combination, a great one-two punch between Knowify and QuickBooks Online.
Thanks, Dan. I hope everyone has got a feel now for what Knowify is. I know Dan's going to do some live presentation, but I think you'll see that we've extended out way out from QuickBooks desktop solutions for contractors to now a complete solution to actually run your operations. As Dan said, and I think it's really an important point, is the separation of the accounting function and financial reporting function away from operations and the construction management portion of your business is a very nice feature. In other words, you can have your users in your operational group totally immersed in your Knowify without any concern about them seeing sensitive financial data or interfering with bookkeeping procedures. So what happens with QuickBooks Online is that it syncs with the Knowify data file both ways. So data, as changes are made in QuickBooks Online, the changes are made in Knowify, they update each other. In an overview or large scale, what's really happening from Knowify is Knowify sending over time data to QuickBooks for payroll. It's sending over bills. After processing the POs and receiving the POs, it sends over bills that will be integrated into accounts payable in QuickBooks. And it also sends over the invoicing that's created for accounts receivable for QuickBooks. So QuickBooks becomes for one thing, it becomes a depository of financial data. We have live data feeds coming in from Knowify. We have live data feeds coming in from your bank accounts or your credit cards as they're set up for interaction with QuickBooks. And these things are just automatically feeding into the accounting record. They are, the key is, and one of the important points is someone that's knowledgeable needs to be sure that these feeds are working properly and the financial data is accurate. Once the data gets into QuickBooks, the accounting group then focuses on 4 major areas, and that is cash management, updating bank accounts, reconciling bank accounts, making sure the cash is always right and you understand what your cash position is. On accounts payable, it's making sure that your bills get in on time, they get paid on time, and update the accounting record. And then as the invoices come in, that your group is making sure that they're getting paid on time, updating, communicating with customers on, on collection or those kind of things, but managing those receivables properly. And then finally, there's also payroll. So what happens is as your time reports are coming in from Knowify, they're going directly into the timesheet function in QuickBooks, which then allows you to use the Intuit Payroll function. And Intuit Payroll is an ideal, I should be moving forward on these slides, sorry about that. So I'm going to go over to Payroll. And so with Intuit QuickBooks Payroll, what you have is 2 options. You have the option of using them for kind of do it yourself, where the data is all coming through and it's all automatic. That you can, it reminds you to create your paychecks, reminds you to create your tax returns, reminds you to make your tax deposits, and it handles these functions very effectively. Or you can actually go with the complete solution, where the full service solution from Intuit Payroll, they'll handle the whole thing and take care of all the filings and make sure the taxes get paid. So you'll have that option. So that's the QuickBooks side of the total solution. So between QuickBooks and Knowify, we have a complete contractor solution. Now, in terms of cost, you'll see that it's about. I'm going to bring a slide in here. Hold on a second here, just so you know what the cost is. With the QuickBooks, the standard cost, which is under list price, for QuickBooks Essentials, which would probably be the solution you would use with online payroll, would be $58.99. With the full service payroll, it would be $118.99. Now, I'm going to talk to you more about our services, but if you are contracted with us to provide ongoing support services or to provide controllership services, we can get you a half-off wholesale price through our Pro Advisor program. So that's just to give you an idea of the cost of the product. So speaking about, hold on one second here, speaking about client care programs that we offer, obviously we customize everything we do to your needs. We offer a 1-hour free consultation, whether it's done on site if you're local or whether it's done online if you're not. We'll spend the time to understand what your business is doing, what your business needs are, and we can establish then the proper solutions to help you get up and running with this new solution. So we offer 2 products. We offer an on-demand support program where basically you pay a fee of $99 a month for a company that has up to 10 employees, and the fees vary. But with that, you also get the discount on your QuickBooks, so the solution is very affordable. But what it gives you is on-demand support as you need it, whether it's for QuickBooks, whether it's for Knowify, whatever your questions are, we'll take the questions. We may refer you back to Knowify if it's better for them to solve the problem, but certainly with QuickBooks and with accounting, we can answer your questions. And then we also offer a controllership program, which I think is the ideal way for companies that move to this model to consider. With the controllership program, we're able to manage the entire process. So just as I spoke to you about the various areas where QuickBooks will manage your accounting, we will manage those functions. In other words, we will manage payroll. We will make sure payroll gets filed on time, make sure the taxes are paid. We will make sure that transactional feeds that are coming, whether from Knowify or the banks or credit cards, we're making sure that gets done right. We're making sure that we reconcile each period, each week on all these things to make sure everything's done right. We will also make sure the POs and the bills that come in from Knowify are processed properly. And we will provide you then with accurate accounting reports that will help you run your business and that you will know have been done properly. And the cost for these programs, again, for a small, they start at $5.99 a month, and I think you'll find when we meet with you or talk to you, if we have that opportunity, we can come up with a program that will be very affordable and very effective for your business. One last point I want to make is additional applications. And one of the applications that I'm not here to promote, but I do want to tell you that once you're using QuickBooks Online, we have additional apps. One of them is called Bill.com, which allow us to help you manage cash flow even better because of their unique abilities to process accounts payable and pay online, so you won't have to write checks anymore. You'll pay electronically or even send out manual checks through their service. So no more writing checks, printing checks, signing checks, mailing checks. They take care of all that. And then on the other side, they also handle in the incoming AR information and provide a really unique tool for you to see your cash flow projected out based upon AR and AP and your cash balances. So that's kind of the program in a nutshell, and we would be more than happy to speak with any of you at any time about your particular needs. Again, whether you're local, we can set up a meeting on site, or whether you're not, we can also set up GoToMeetings. You can reach us at our phone number, which is 866-304-4399. Or you can reach me directly at rick@qbproconsulting.com. Thanks. And Dan, you want to take it from there?
Sure. And Rick, thank you so much for your presentation. I actually want to share a perspective quickly before we dive into Knowify. And that is that, we've worked with Rick and other, Tier 1 QuickBooks Pro advisors for a while now. And I think one of the things that people don't realize about QB Pro Consulting and other such services is that the best ones really are outstanding business allies and consultants. They can not only run your books, because there are a lot of people who can run books, but these are people who have been in a lot of businesses that look, sort of feel, and operate in a similar way, and they've seen the best practices. They've implemented these platforms before. They know how they work. They know how to succeed with them. They know how to get your people together, get them to use these tools. And I think our success rate, we know from experience, is much higher when you're working with someone like Rick, and when we're working with someone like Rick, because they know what the keys to success are. And so, I mean, it's an exciting opportunity. Welcome to Knowify, first of all. I'm not going to do a full demo of the platform. I just want to show you through very quickly. So right now, I'm logged in as if I were the CEO. So I get all these nice high-level dashboards. I have access to all of Knowify's functionality areas. I can see and do everything in Knowify. Obviously, if I were a lower-level employee with different permissions, I would have far less access to the tools. As I mentioned, we have very powerful contract job management tools. So these would be larger jobs, more than a single day's worth of work. And I have some examples of commercial work in here. I have a residential job. I have a job showing that I have one out for signature. And I think what's really cool about this dashboard, first, when you come in contract jobs, you can see the status. You can see the active ones. You would be able to see the ones with change orders outstanding. We would be able to see this particular bid is out for signature. And then if I wanted more information, it's really just about clicking in and drilling down. So I can click into this Broadway roofing job. I'm now brought into my job management dashboard. I can click into our plan and track, which is our estimating tool. And just like I said, our goal here, we're going to tell you how you're doing in real time. We're going to show you all of the data coming in on this job. So look, I can see that I've ordered 10 of 20 of this Den's deck, 50 of 50 of this elm metal, this 10 of 20 units of this TPO roofing material, and that I ordered those all on PO number 2. I could, if I needed to, I could record that, for example, I had received these materials. I could come here and say, okay, yes, I've received the TPO roofing material, and now Knowify is going to tell me that that order has been received and make that available for project managers. I can see the time card data that have come in from my foreman and my tradesmen in the field. So if they're calling me up and saying, hey, we're about 50% done, as I compare against this, I would say, wow, that's very exciting, because it looks like, I've used up less than half my foreman hours and way less than half of my tradesman hours. So, we're way ahead of schedule. We're going to make a lot of money on this job. And obviously, if the shoe were on the other foot and they were behind, at least I would know, and I would have very good information to act on there. On the contract and change order management side, I can come into contracts and change orders. I can see my initial line item from in this case, the bid. I can see a change order that's been approved. Processing additional change orders is as easy as clicking this button, typing in what it is, typing in the value, and I could even estimate out this value if I wanted to in the plan and track section. And then I can send it out for signature using Knowify's e-signature tool, and you can see it will package it up into a PDF that's ready to send, and now I just shoot it off. And now this is going to be an outstanding change order on this job. And back in my contract jobs table, you can see it's pending change, so I'm aware that this job has a change order that I might need to follow up with the client on. So, we have totally integrated timekeeping. So, I can keep manual time cards this way if I want. I can also have guys in the field checking in or checking out. I can do job-based timekeeping with our foreman view. And then also very powerful invoicing tools. So, for example, we mentioned a couple times throughout the presentation our AIA billing. Here is an example of an AIA output from Knowify. I'm actually just going to open up another tab with it already loaded. And you can see that we're automatically compiling the G702 and G703 documents, and we're doing it very quickly. I mean, it really is as easy as going into the job. So in this case, I'll go into Broadway Roofing, going into contract and change orders, saying invoice now, picking the date you want to invoice as of, filling out the percent completion for the work and the dollar value of stored materials, and then finalizing it. We're automatically going to put together these documents. We will push retainage to QuickBooks Online so you have those records there. And then now you have your AIA application for payment automatically created by Knowify, very quickly ready to send to your GC. So, do we support progress billing on commercial jobs? Absolutely. I was just giving you an example of something we can do, in this case, a commercial AIA style invoice. So, I mean, a lot of powerful tools here, a lot of great things to help you run your contracting business and to keep everything all in one place, talking to one another, running paperlessly with seamless communication between office and field.
Perfect. So we have quite a few questions, and I'd like to open it up into more. Let's see here. I'm going to take this back real quick. All right, so everybody please feel free to post your questions to the GoToWebinar toolbar. I already have quite a few, so we're going to get to those first. But again, feel free to post those at this time. So first question, do they check in from phone, laptop, or could they do both?
So the actual GPS check-in feature is based on mobile phones. We do have ways, like you could access the app through like an iPad or something like that as well. Timekeeping can be done from a laptop, but we don't do timekeeping on a laptop with the check-in tool because the check-in tool has a GPS component to it as well, and not that many laptops come built in with the sort of GPS tools. I mean, the thing about mobile phones, the thing about iPads with cellular connections is that they know where they are because of cell phone tower triangulation, and the laptops don't. So, but can you keep time from a laptop in the field? Absolutely, just in a slightly different way.
Perfect. Next is this for QuickBooks Online only, or does it also support the desktop versions of QuickBooks?
So we do support the QuickBooks desktop version. We have had to rebuild our desktop sync because Intuit changed the way that software like ours synced with the desktop. But we expect to release our desktop sync again and make it available to the public within the next 4 to 6 weeks. And so it's in beta testing now internally and with some select clients. It is ostensibly the same sync as the online sync, although I do think there's a lot to commend the online product if you're comfortable making the switch. I mean, I think the fact that the online is the future, as Rick said. In so many ways, it's the future. I would encourage you to at least give it a thought, although we do support the desktop product.
Rick, do you want to talk, because I know that you work in a lot of different flavors of QuickBooks and that you also, for the desktop, have it in the cloud. Do you want to talk at all about the hosted model?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset change that we have to go through, or we are going to go through, in that when you have an application like Knowify that is doing so much of the work and it's bringing in specific transactional data that is, it's doing the reporting, And QuickBooks, again, becomes a depository of those incoming transactions. And the accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll functions in QuickBooks Online, as well as financial reporting functions, are just as good as desktop and can be set up just as effectively. With desktop, you're going to have to deal with the buying the software, renewing the software. If you want access from various locations, you need to get it hosted, so you're going to incur that fee. So you've got a lot of fees involved, a lot of moving parts that can go wrong. And I just feel that rather than focusing on accounting software and managing accounting software and accounting IT, go with a SaaS product like QBO, eliminate the need to worry about any of that stuff, and focus your time on your business operations through the app like Knowify.
Okay, and there was a follow-up question to that. How difficult is it to move from a desktop version of QuickBooks to the QBO?
It's very easy to do. QuickBooks has a group that actually will do the conversion. So once you establish that you want to convert to QuickBooks Online, they actually will browse. We can browse to the QuickBooks data file, and they will make the conversion, and then they get back to you and say, okay, you're converted and you're ready to go. And pretty seamless, pretty easy to do. And then you just need to, learn the new navigations, but they're, just like QuickBooks Desktop, it's very intuitive. And I have had very few clients with any implementation or conversion issues.
And that's really what your firm helps them with, right? They're not left to do that on their own. So.
No, we would be happy to carry them through that entire process of getting them into the new solution.
Perfect. Next question is for Dan. Can subcontractors submit invoices into Knowify?
So we have not yet built out our subcontractor portal. It's actually something that we're developing now. And the idea is that for GCs, we want to make it possible to do more than just have them submit their invoices into Knowify. Can we support, and do you mind actually if I take control of the presentation back? Casey, how do I do that?
I will transfer that to you right now.
Thank you. So can we deal with subcontractors, processing subcontractor change orders, tracking what you've paid them versus what your contract with them plus change orders are? Do we automatically create POs for their work so you can really have a very good sense of what your committed costs are on projects? Absolutely. These are all core features. But do we have plans to automate these things more so that subs can submit their own bills so you're not processing it, that they are? And to also have it so you can have built-in invitation to bid kind of tools in Knowify for your subcontracting. Yes, all of that stuff is in progress. We're very excited about that. We're going to have a whole portal dedicated to managing your subs and to having them check in and to interact with your Knowify in ways that you control. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like they are going to be edging in on your Knowify and on data that you don't want them to see. It's going to be very much tailored to the specific needs of the subcontractor. But we do expect to build out those tools and to have those available. Probably, I mean, it's not going to be the next 2 weeks, but probably by the summer.
Perfect. Can you send documents with change order approvals?
Can you send documents? So you can absolutely send change orders through the system, and when they're approved, everybody gets notified of the signature. If you're trying to have there be sort of like this additional document that gets sent the second the change order is approved, that's not actually the change order form. I mean, that would be done outside of Knowify, if that's what you're talking about. I mean, unless you're talking about change order tickets where you've done something on ticket, the GC sends you a change order that gets approved, and then maybe you're sending out documents related to that. But our change order process in Knowify is built mostly around originating change orders, getting that document signed and approved, and then knowing that it's been signed and approved.
Perfect. And that question was from Carrie. Carrie, if you want to expand on that at all, if we didn't answer your question, please do. But she did also ask, what about internal approvals?
So we have internal approvals for things like purchase orders. We have internal approvals built in for bills, so that vendor bills don't necessarily have to get paid until someone in your organization has approved them. I mean, and obviously we have a lot of permissioning around things like who has access to the contract documents, who has access to change order management, and stuff like that. So, I mean, we have explicit approvals around things like POs and reimbursements so that guys from the field, if they need to buy new materials, if they need to put in a reimbursement for something that they had to spend their own cash on, all of that stuff can go in from, for example, the Knowify mobile app, and it can come up to the office with, you know, ready to approve, like, you know, approve, reject, forward on to somebody else for approval. And, you know, those are all wonderful convenience tools, and everything else, you know, I mean, so for example, we don't have explicit approval around the right to send out a bid, but it is permission. So presumably anybody with bid permissions would necessarily be entitled to send the bid out.
Perfect. Does Knowify handle lien waivers?
So we can handle lien waivers as part of the invoices. We want to get smarter about it. So right now what we can do is we can include as part of your invoice template a waiver of lien. And what we can't do yet, but which we're looking into, and we know we can do it, it's just a question of when we're going to squeeze it into the development schedule, is to be smarter about doing sort of like a conditional waiver of lien in the middle of a job versus a final waiver of lien, because the legal language typically varies slightly. So if we're talking about, you know, releasing your client, the GC, yes, we can do those. We don't, however, we're not that focused on collecting vendor lien releases yet. I mean, it's also something that we've looked into. It's something we're interested in. So, for example, getting vendor lien releases, so at the end of the job, you can get your vendor to confirm that all of their bills to you have been paid. I mean, yes, we have that information. We could ostensibly do it. I think we would probably be more oriented towards releasing your client first, because, you know, I mean, that would be built into the Knowify. As I said, we can do it in the Knowify invoice template already. And the vendor one would probably follow a little bit later. I hope that, does that answer the question?
I think so. That one was from Andy. Andy, if it didn't, please go ahead and post another follow-up question. He did ask right after that, is there a bill approval process in Knowify that allows a field lead to approve a bill before it gets pushed to QBO for payment?
So we don't have bill approval prior to bills being pushed to QBO. We do bill approval as a step on top of bill processing, but it tends to happen after the bill is pushed. Interestingly, we have time approval, and time approval is a gatekeeper for the push to QBO, although you can turn it off if you really don't want to do time approval. The reason we don't do bill approval as a gate before pushing to QBO is because most of our clients don't do bill approval, if I'm being completely honest. It's a great feature. We like it. We're glad we have it. But most of our clients don't do it. And to sort of, by default, force them to go through the bill approval process to get that QuickBooks thing to work is something that we don't see that much appetite for. So yes, we can do bill approval. But bear in mind, let's say, for example, a bill is not approved and it looks like it's erroneous or something's wrong with it. You can always delete it in Knowify, and we'll push a delete to QBO, and it will disappear from there as well. So it's not as though you know, your accounting data are going to end up all messy if for whatever reason you know, some bill doesn't belong in there.
Rick, did you want to expand on that at all about how your firm recommends handling the bill approvals?
Thanks, Casey. This goes back to the other application I was talking about, Bill.com. QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop does not have a bill approval capability in the software. However, again, with a product like Bill.com, you do get up to 3 levels of approval before a bill can be paid. So I would, in a case where somebody is concerned about that and wants to pre-approve bills, Bill.com is an excellent solution for that. It also works mobile, so the approver can actually do it from their smartphone wherever they are. And once it's approved, then it pushes through for availability to pay. So that would be my recommendation for those companies that are looking for that solution.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think Rick brings up an important point, which is that you can absolutely take advantage of other powerful solutions like Bill.com. because, for example, Knowify will push bills to QBO, QBO will push the bill to Bill.com, and so all of these platforms will talk to one another, and it happens seamlessly.
Exactly, yes. Can you template estimates, schedules, contracts, and change orders?
So in Knowify, we're talking about slightly different kinds of templates when we talk about these different things. When we talk about job templates, the answer is absolutely we can template these things out. And what you can do is you can set up a general structure to a job. So you can say, for example, back to my TPO roofing, so you can set up a structure to that job that can be broken down into as many phases as you want, and have certain standard materials per phase and certain sorts of labor required to complete each phase. And then you can preload jobs with those templates. We also have a sort of catalog service-based feature that's actually going to launch in the next 2 weeks. That's going to be even more intelligent, which is going to allow you to define a unit. For example, you could say that per 100 square feet of roof space, I need this many man hours of laborer time, this many man hours of foreman time, and I need this, this quantity of materials for each of the different line items of materials. And then when you drop that item into your estimate, into your, your Knowify plan and track estimating tool, it will then prompt you, so how many 100 square feet of roof are we talking about here? And then you'll enter, 200 for a 20,000 square foot roof, and then it'll automatically populate out all of your man hours, all of your materials quantities. Of course, you could always update them after the fact. I'm not, it's a totally malleable and pliable thing, but at least it will save you a ton of time in getting that initial information in there and getting you into the ballpark that you need to be in. As in terms of templates for change orders, templates for contract documents, as I mentioned, we have total control over the document outputs, the PDF document outputs. So, converting from an estimate to a bid in Knowify is very easy. We automatically pull in the the plan and track phases, and then you can manipulate them, you can combine them, you can add additional ones, you can do whatever you want. So generally that conversion is quick and very easy. It's easy to apply markups to each of the line items. And then in terms of packaging it, and making it look how you want it to look, we have total control. Change orders, so for example, we have some subs on the platform now who want to have AIA compliant change order forms, which means that they have all sorts of lines. They have original contract sum, and then original contract sum plus approved change orders, and pending change orders, and then all sorts of different lines on their change order forms, and we're happy to provide those. We can provide additional signature boxes for the architect or for the owner as necessary. So really, we have tons and tons of flexibility on the document outputs, and that's a service that we provide for companies that sign up and convert into active accounts. Those are services we provide for free.
Okay. Can employees submit non-reimbursable, so i.e. company credit card expenses, and does that sync with QBO?
Yes. The easy answer, yes.
Perfect. This one sounds a little bit more like they're looking for business intelligence. So, Rick, I'm not sure what you would recommend on this, but it's also about Knowify dashboards. So can you review the Knowify executive dashboards also on the CEO board level for multiple company organizations? How do you handle regular high-level reporting and outputs? Is this from QBO?
So I'll take the Knowify side of this. So Knowify is designed to be used by a single company. So, we don't do multi-company within Knowify unless the multi-company split. And, we've seen this for tax purposes where a single, what you and I would think of as a single quote-unquote company, is split into multiple subsidiaries where one houses the labor and one acquires the materials. If that's how you're organized for tax purposes, you can have it be just Knowify to run the whole thing, because realistically that's sort of how you operate. But if we're really talking about separate operating subsidiaries, totally separate companies, you would have to have a separate Knowify for each one.
Yeah, on the QuickBooks, on the QBO side, you certainly have the ability to set up classes, and you can report by classes, both balance sheet and income statements, so you can differentiate different divisions very effectively in QBO. For extended reporting or extended analysis, there's one product we really recommend called QVinci, which allows for a lot of analytics that go beyond the standard traditional financial statement. The nice thing about QBO and QuickBooks, for that matter, is the ability to drill down on basic financial reports. So they're more than 2x2 paper reports. They can be drilled into, and that's an area where I think management needs to spend more time in general, whether it's desktop or QBO, learning how to go in, pull reports, and drill into those reports to get deeper information. But we certainly have a number of recommendations to extend financial analysis and business intelligence beyond the standard QBO product. Whenever, whatever their needs are, we can answer them.
Perfect. And then we've had a few questions of people asking if we will be having these materials available. Yes, first of all, we did record it. If you go to QB Pro Consulting, I would say by Monday, we'll have it up on the website as well as on YouTube. If you're interested in getting a copy of the PowerPoint, you can email Rick at qbproconsulting.com. It's at the bottom of the screen right now. So yes, lots of ways to get these materials, and of course, again, offering free consultations for anybody who is interested. Have a few more questions, and then I know we're going to have to wrap it up. I think we only have about 8 minutes left, so let's get through a few more, and then if you think of anything else, please feel free to contact either Dan or Rick. Next question is, we are a smaller company and would not use payroll. It would just be estimate, contract, bids, ordering, schedule, and track job, paying bills, and receiving cash. That still sounds like a lot. Would this software be too much for this small of a company?
So we actually have quite a few customers that don't actually have their own labor to track, and these are typically smaller GCs. And first of all, Knowify is not terribly expensive. I think this is an important point, something that we haven't actually talked about over the course of this call. But for a small residential GC who might only have 2 or 3 users, we're generally not, we're generally talking about the base package, which is $68 a month. And by the way, that's going to include all the tools. So for $68 a month, you're going to have something that's going to be really, really powerful for helping you track how much you've paid your subcontractors, what you've ordered in terms of materials, whether you've received those materials or not, to reconcile RPOs against your bills as they come in, to make sure that your vendors, or at least that your vendor pricing is matching your own internal pricing or what you expected to pay. A lot of scheduling tools. So there's a lot of power there. And do I think that it makes sense for a small residential GC to use Knowify's tools? I would say absolutely. I think we have some that get a lot out of the package. And I mean, I think the labor side is very interesting what we do, but do I think that there's value here outside of just the timekeeping? I would like to think absolutely.
Let me jump in there too on the QBO side and just on the financial overview side as a CPA. When QuickBooks Online without payroll is less than $20 a month, so you're looking at a total cost of $88 a month. For the functionality and capabilities that you're getting, this is going to better position you to grow your business. So we're hoping we're all in a position, certainly if we're online with this call, we're all looking to improve our business strategies so we can build our business. It's amazing to me, having been in the software business and been in the accounting business for many, many years, how inexpensive and how powerful these solutions are, and what an opportunity it is for business entrepreneurs to take advantage of these capabilities to grow their business.
Perfect. Rick, we have a question from Andy. Rick, are your typical clients using Knowify, QBO, and Bill.com? Are they paying the bills via Bill.com and receiving payments via Bill.com? And I will just say I'm not in construction, but I love Bill.com. I use it regularly. But Rick, what are your clients doing successfully?
Yeah, you and I do use Bill.com to pay each other, right? So it's great. So I would say in terms of Bill.com, Can you repeat that question again? Let me get this right.
Yeah, it just says, are your typical clients using Knowify, QBO, and Bill.com? Are they paying the bills via Bill.com and receiving payments via Bill.com? This is from Andy.
I have, first of all, on the Bill.com side, almost every client I introduce it to adapts it and wants to use it because, again, it frees them up from all the pains of writing checks and all that. So on the AP side, it's amazing, and it's definitely useful. On the AR side, QuickBooks Online works with Intuit Payments, and Intuit Payments allows you to, send out invoices with the ability to pay online by credit card or by bank charge. So really, there's no need for the Bill.com AR side with the QBO AR features already there. However, it does feed the AR data over there so that you have the AR data, the AP data, and your bank balance, so it can still forecast out your cash flow. And literally, you can look at your cash flow report, and on any given day, you may show a negative because you're paying bills and you're not getting paid till the next day. And then you can use that tool to redate the payment of those bills so they match up better to what's coming in. So you'll still be able to use the AR even if you're not using it to send out bills, send out invoices for payment.
Perfect. Thank you, Rick. I've had a few people say that the bottom of the screen is being cut off and they can't see everything. So I did post to the GoToWebinar, but there's a few numbers I want to give out. Knowify's phone number is 212-233-3230. That's 212-233-3230. For QB Pro Consulting, you can reach Rick at either rick@qbproconsulting.com or you can call him anytime. It's 866-304-4399. That's 866-304-4399. I apologize that the bottom is cut off. And let's see here. Any more questions? I think that we've gotten to them all. Oh, one more. Follow-up. The reason that I ask is that I wasn't sure how the accounts receivable side of the equation was handled between Knowify and QBO. Knowify can send out invoices, but do you then include a link to pay via QBO, or do you send a follow-up email with the link for QBA online payments?
So that's an important question. So Knowify does not accept payments yet. So we do leverage the QuickBooks online payment tools. I would absolutely encourage you to take advantage of the QBO payment tools. And Knowify and QBO, once you've pushed an invoice from Knowify to QuickBooks, that sync is really quite tight. So for example, when QuickBooks receives payment, that receivable record closes. Knowify can pull that receivable payment record into Knowify and automatically close out the receivable on its end. So can you take advantage of like the best of all worlds where Knowify gives you really powerful progress billing tools, change order management billing tools, or even AIA billing tools if those are your needs, while still getting all the payment tools you want out of QBO? Absolutely. And I'll just say from experience, this is sort of a funny aside. Not many of our clients accept credit card payments. Contractors aren't that excited about giving up 3%. But the bank transfer tools are popular. So we certainly do see that one.
And just to add to that, to Dan's comments, you definitely want to promote online payment, whether it's just to the bank. You have a choice. You can tell them you can pay to a bank transfer only, or you can make both options open, a credit card or a bank transfer. But you really want them to pay that way because it eliminates another painful experience of gathering checks, going to the bank, making the deposit, blah, blah, blah. So you're eliminating more administrative time and you're getting faster cash flow into your bank account.
Excellent points, gentlemen. Well, we are at the end of the webinar. We had so many great questions, so thank you to the attendees for being interactive. If anybody has follow-up questions for either Dan or Rick, please feel free to reach out. And we hope to speak with you again soon. Thank you both, Rick and Dan. Very informative and very, very helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Casey, for organizing.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.